There's something strange going on in my hometown. I can't really put my finger on it though, but I have this feeling that something isn't right. Too many people have died from it to feel normal, and deaths range from ordinary to just plain weird. But the ordinary followed the weird so quickly and in such numbers that even the ordinary became weird. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I just need to get all these concerns out, to maybe get some help from you to understand it a little better. Is it just coincidences? Am I going paranoid? A little bit of background. My hometown is very small. Currently the population is around 1,000, and it's a very tightly knit community where everybody knows everybody. There had been one unnatural death, the murder, in the history of the town, and it occurred over 60 years ago. So, as you can guess, it's a very happy and quiet place to live. Or was. I don't know. The whole thing started in an apartment complex. Half of the building's over 80 years old and the other half is just 15. It's a funny looking building. The odd part really looks its age. But the new section is a pink, modern affair with no regard for the rustic charm the original building has. It's ugly, to be perfectly honest with you. The murder I told you about, the one from over 60 years ago, occurred in the old part of that building. Apparently some guy got drunk and got it in his head that the guy was sleeping with his wife, so he visits him and stabs him during the fight that broke out. After that, the most violent thing that happened in town was petty crimes, such as graffiti, shoplifting, and the occasional bar fight. Then one day, 7 years ago, we all hear about another murder in that same house. A guy found dead in his closet, hacked up, each part wrapped in some form of plastic. He was a Polish guy, hired for construction work, and no one really knew him. My stepfather's brother lived next door to him and reported a strong smell coming from the apartment, and that's when they found him. I didn't know if he was reported missing. He didn't know anyone, but I find it odd if his workplace, at least, didn't wonder where he was. He was in there for like a week, I heard. There was naturally a lot of rumors going around after that. Who killed him? Why so brutally? Was it the Polish mob? Maybe he was involved in some criminal business. It couldn't be anyone from around here, could it? After a while, when no one still hadn't heard a thing about it, the rumors went quiet and everyone went on with their lives. About a year later, I got a call from my best friend. We've known each other since first grade and we kept in touch with a lot of people from school since then. Really wasn't many others to hang out with. She told me, crying and panicking, that another girl from our class in her school had called her and told her that her father had murdered her mother with a sword. It was so surreal that I didn't speak for what felt like forever. Her parents, especially her father, was the nicest, calmest people you could find. Apparently he just snapped. Later found out the police found weird puncture wounds on the mother's hands and feet that didn't match any objects in the house. And they called it torture. What goes on behind closed doors, right? 6 months after that, a woman, 2 years older than me, was murdered in the same apartment complex as the first two. She was strangled by her boyfriend, and he calmly got their kids and turned himself over to the police afterwards. The whole town was grieving then. A lot of people started to ask why all this was happening, but it didn't end there. She was the first of 3 deaths that year. Another woman died in a house fire, the house right next to the apartment complex, and a guy died in an accident at his workplace, also right next to the building. The creepy thing was that all 3 were the same age, and were in the same class in high school. Now the talk about a curse started. I've never seen so many grieving people at the same time before. The church was full every Sunday, and it seemed that everyone just forgot how to smile. I cried a lot too. These people were our family, our friends, our classmates. The town was paralyzed. After that, the cancer came. Literally. First, my friend's father was diagnosed. He died a couple months later. Then it was a teacher. Then my grandfather. Then my friend's grandmother. then a little boy at the daycare where I worked. All died. Now, 5 years later, 23 people have died from cancer. 23. Among those was my beloved aunt, the strongest woman I ever knew. The last one was a boy. He was only 11. What the hell is going on? Is it just in my head? Or is there something really wrong with my little town? I just can't take any more deaths. I can't stand the pain and the sorrow and the fear that has been a constant for so many years now. I don't know what I'm asking for here. Maybe just for someone to tell me that I'm not crazy? I'm not really expecting getting answers or explanations, but I just needed to tell my story. Am I crazy?